Hey guys, welcome back. We're going to check out a video today from Harry Rogers here on YouTube. It is built 1350, a look at Alfriston Clergy House, Sussex, UK. I'm really excited to check this out. It looks like this was the first house to be acquired by the National Trust. This is so old. It's hard to even wrap my brain around it as an American. Um, but I'm excited. I'm excited to check this out. I will, of course, link this video in the description, along with a link over to Patreon and a link of how you can support the channel right here on YouTube if you choose to do so. If not, I'm just glad to have you here watching the video. Do subscribe and like, share. But yeah, let's go ahead and just jump right into it.
Hello, well I'm at East Sussex today at the little village of Alfriston, and it's a very attractive village indeed with lots of old medieval buildings, lovely half-timbered buildings, including this public house, which has rather nice painted wooden carvings around it as well. Anyway, there's a church and a very nice village green with little houses overlooking the green, and at the side of the church is the clergy house. And this is an ancient house, probably dating from about 1350, built in the aftermath of the Black Death. And it was the first house that was acquired by the National Trust. It was purchased by the Trust in 1896 for the token sum of £10. It's a lovely example of an old Wealden house. It's got beautiful old oak beaming and very nice joinery you can see there, rather exposed. And wattle and daub infill around the house as well. And the grounds it's set in are very attractive gardens. It was in a terrible condition when the National Trust took it on, but it's been carefully restored, and authentically so. And it now looks very much probably as it did when it was first built. Perhaps a little bit older, but not dissimilar. Here are the gardens, and the gardens go right round the house, so some of it's fairly casual lawn and some of it's rather nice flower beds and vegetable areas, and it backs onto a little bit of sort of marshland as well with reed beds. So there you are, cut some of that reed and make a Sussex chair. The house itself is very simple layout inside. There's quite low everywhere. This is the parlour. And there was a wonderful fireplace, big ingle nook fireplace in the parlour. And I had a look up the chimney. And at the side, there was also a bread oven. Well, here's the chimney, and you can just about see daylight at the very top. But it's a vast fireplace.
Look at that. That's
and
huge.
And there's a bread oven just to the side here, with paddles for putting your bread in and out of the oven.
That's incredible.
So there they are.
I mean, it had to heat a whole house, I guess.
There's some quite interesting ironwork supporting some of the beams, and you wonder how that was done. It was probably a bit of a repair suddenly put in with a beam that was creaking away. The wattle and daub, as you can see, was filled in with chestnut or oak and then covered with like a plastery lime wash mix. Usually contains some horsehair to bind it all together. The joinery, they had an example actually of the joinery on display, and it was actually quite complicated. And here it is. And I was slightly sort of tickled to see that they actually numbered the joints, so you'd know which bit went where. And I mean, that's something I do quite often, is number my joints. Here's the layout. So you've got the main central hall, living quarters, service area. And it's a very simple, really, arrangement, but quite effective. I would have thought the house would be quite cold in the winter, despite the nice big fire in the middle, but I suppose that did help. Here's the wattle and daub. You can just see how it's been exposed. Wonderful roof on the main hall there. And here's the sort of quite wide area. Beginning to feel a bit hungry at this point. Nice food on the table. And they were saying about how the food was cooked to avoid disease. This joinery detail, the table was possibly French oak, quite nice little 4 slice wedges there, Bit unusual, and a nice crown post on that roof. Look at that. That's joinery and woodwork to perfection. The floor I was intrigued to see because they said it was made of sour milk and chalk. And in fact, I've seen something similar at the Weald and Downland Museum. And there it is. It makes quite a hard, good, solid floor. It just seems a very strange way of doing it. But it does work, and it was quite a traditional way. There was a carved oak leaf in the corner of the room, and I wondered if perhaps that was to do with the origins of the National Trust. And down one of the corridors, there's quite a good timeline of the building of the house. So it goes right back to about 1350. And it's funny when you think of all the sort of events which have taken place since it was built and what it's seen during all those years. It's really quite interesting. Through to the side there is a little scullery with a pump and a sink, and then you could go upstairs and there was a little room up there with a few pictures of what the house looked like some time ago. Very cosy rooms, and I particularly liked some of the detail on both the woodwork and the sort of little bits of blacksmithing here and there that one could see. Here's an example of the windows with nice window catches with sprung sort of levers on those window catches. Something that wouldn't be too difficult to replicate, but makes a nice little latching arrangement. And just before we leave, I will show you some pictures of what the house did look like, because they've got some sort of studio display in this room. Nice bit of woodworm, of course, a hazard, but that's what it looked like when it was taken on. A very sorry state indeed. A bit of work being done on it, another sorry state picture, but it is quite good to see what it was like. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed seeing the Clergy House, and thanks very much for watching. Bye-bye.
That was a fantastic video. I really, really enjoyed that. Think of something like that standing and being there. I mean, it really put it in perspective when you see all, like the Battle of Agincourt that we watched a video on. I mean, just all of these historical events that happened after it was built and it's still standing. I mean, it's just crazy. It's just crazy to me. I mean, we're what, not 700 years later, 700 plus years later, and it's still there. And I mean, obviously, they've had to reinforce it and do some work based on the pictures before the National Trust got it, and they've done an incredible job keeping it. I think as close as it was in the beginning and restoring it, but just the craftsmanship. I can't imagine how long it took to make that. They bought it for £10. That's crazy. I'd like to know kind of how much they've had to put into it, uh, just to keep it as it is. But excellent video. I really enjoyed that. If you guys know any other videos similar to this, please send them my way in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on it. Let me know if you've been able to go check it out and visit it or passed by it, anything like that. I just think that's super cool. But yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, go check out his channel. Can't wait to see what else he's got over there. But yeah, thanks for watching with me, guys. Have an awesome, awesome day.